Hey friend, welcome back to the channel. If you're new, my name is Megan from Grey Arrow Tarot, and today we are going to look at the message you most need to hear before you go to sleep. I came across this reading idea. I think somebody else had done it on a collective reading. And I just thought it was a really cool idea. I haven't seen it on a pick-a-card reading. That doesn't mean it hasn't happened. I just have not come across it. But I wanted to try it out. And I thought it would be a really fun way to give you the messages that are most urgent to you and most urgent to your situation. So we can go ahead and dive into things. Actually, just a note before we do, I am getting over some kind of a cold. It was kind of weird. So if my voice is a little scratchy, that's what's going on. But I do just want to dive into this reading. I'm excited to see what comes up. So if you are new to pick-a-card readings, what you're going to do is let your intuition allow you to pick a deck. Whatever deck or pile is calling to you most, that has the message that you most need to hear right now, and the message that you most need to hear before you go to sleep tonight. If you are feeling a strong pull to one pile, that likely means that pile is highly relevant to you, and the messages that you hear are mostly going to fit your situation and really resonate. If you are feeling either kind of pulled to multiple piles or just lightly pulled, that likely means that there is like one or two, like a few, there's less messages for you in those piles. I think those messages are still very valuable. That's why you're being pulled to them. And I know when I do pick-a-card readings for myself, the stronger I am pulled to a pile, the more relevant it is. But the looser I am pulled, there tends to be like one thing in there that I just really needed to hear. And I'm always glad I listened to the whole reading to find that message. So whenever you're ready, you can go ahead and choose your group. This is going to be pile number 1. This is pile number 2. And this is pile number 3. If you want to sit with the cards for a little bit longer, you can go ahead and pause the video here. Otherwise, you will find the timestamps in the description box below, and I'll see you at your reading. Hey, group number 1, welcome to your reading. Let's see what messages you need to hear before you go to sleep tonight. What messages does group 1 need to hear before they go to sleep? Messages for group 1 before they go to sleep tonight. Oh, we got one that flipped over. We've got a bunch that flipped over. I'm not going to take all of those because that's like just too many. Messages for group 1. Okay, let's see what we've got for you. All right, we have the 3 of Pentacles reversed, the 4 of Wands, the 2 of Cups, and the Mother of Cups reversed. Okay. So one thing I think is really interesting, so we have a pretty balanced reading for you. So right now, you've got like an equal amount of like internal and external energy. Like there's a need for you to be inward with yourself as much as there is a need for you to take action on what comes up from whatever inward reflections and creations that you are putting together right now. I also think it's interesting, we've got 2 cup cards. So like your emotions might be incredibly relevant to you right now. What you're feeling, you're being encouraged to really pay attention to. And especially with this 3 of Pentacles coming up here, I feel like there's a real need for you to know if you are being called to create something, you're being encouraged to move in that direction. Like if there is something that's sparking you and maybe it's new, maybe you're not sure about it, and there might very well be more research you have to do or more investigation into whatever this is, but I'm really getting a strong message that you're being called to move in that direction. That this is something that's really going to help awaken you. And it's like, yes, I see payoff for you in the sense that like I'm almost getting like if there's a new social media platform that you want to try, or if there's something new that you want to put out there into the world, it's like, yes, there will be a payoff for that in like materialistically or physically, like you'll get the subscribers, you'll get the follows, all of that kind of stuff. But it's more about who you become in the process. That's the real empowering piece of this. Like, it's not about you blowing up, and you may or may not. Like, I'm definitely getting some kind of payoff, some kind of connection that you will make with your audience. I think if you blow up is going to be a specific situation to whoever's watching. But that's not the point of this. That's not where the power lies in this. It's about who you become in doing this action, in moving things forward, in creating this thing, whatever it is. So again, you're really being called to lean into this energy. Now, I want to break this down a little bit more card by card. And I'm torn about how I want to go about this. Like, I think I want to go in order. We're going to go in order. So over here, with this Three of Pentacles reversed, this is the card that's really giving me a strong impression of you wanting to create something. But also, I feel like it's something like you should not be asking too much advice about. Because when this card is in the upright, it's a card of collaboration. Like, if you see, we have this triangle happening here. And it's like the triangle comes together to overcome the mountain. Like to go over this mountain, the hurdle that it comes with. Because this is in the reverse, I'm getting this impression that it's like you need to do this by yourself. And this doesn't mean you can't have any help, but it's more about you doing it. And I'm almost getting the energy of like moving in silence. Like, you moving in silence will move mountains. And again, this doesn't mean you can't tell anyone. Perhaps you have one close friend that you share what you're doing with. But this isn't something you should be bragging about on social media until you bring it into fruition. So as you're in the building phase, as you're in this discovery phase, this is something for you to do quietly and for you to really rely on yourself. Again, this doesn't mean you can't seek out information if you need it, but the message I'm getting with this card is you already really have a lot of what you need to start. So don't let yourself get bogged down in like over researching, over planning, over prepping. I'm getting a real need to just take action on this thing. And yes, if you come across something where you need more information, you do need to dig a little deeper, by all means, do that. But don't let yourself get hung up in that preparation phase, in that research phase, because there is just a real need for you to move forward. And it's interesting, like, I love that when we have this, we have like this one triangle that's moving upward and this other one that's pointing downward. And what I'm getting, it's interesting that the mountain is like going down. Because to me, I feel like there's a lot of this that's going to be easier than you think it is. You know, it's like that downhill walk that like, it's not as hard going down the mountain as it is going up. So I do feel like it's like these triangles, these pentacles that form this triangle are representative of the tools you have. You have the tools you need to elevate yourself to move this thing forward, and it's going to feel like you're moving downhill. You're going to gain a lot of momentum, I feel like, very quickly. And it's really just going to elevate you and who you are and your confidence. Like, that's the biggest energy I'm getting, is like your confidence is in a position to really skyrocket if you allow yourself to lean into this thing, to lean into this creation. Now over here with the Four of Wands, which, God, do we love the Four of Wands. Like, I love the Four of Wands so much. And this card in particular, I love that we have this like diamond in the center. Like, it's something about you finding your center is what I'm getting. And it's going to create this really stable environment for yourself. Like, there is just this energy of you doing this thing and finding more stability. Now, because it's the Four of Wands, like, this is what's making me think you may not blow up, at least immediately. Some people might, but for most of you, I feel like it's like gaining a loyal following and like true connection with people who do support you. Like, this is the stable foundation energy. So it's you having your needs met. It's you having, like, there's just such a sense of fulfillment that I'm getting too. That's just really, really expansive. So it's the idea of leaning into this thing is going to be more fulfilling for you. Like, that's the biggest reward of this. That's the biggest advantage. But again, like, I do see some kind of like real reasons to celebrate, real growth that's here for you, and just a real sense of power and support. So leaning into this thing, leaning into your creativity is just so crucial for you. I feel like that is the biggest thing you need to know. That leaning into your creativity and your creative pulls, your creative impulses, that is the biggest thing you can be doing right now for yourself. For one way or another, whether it's like you're carving out like 10 minutes a day to move this forward, or you can dedicate some real time, creating this time and space is really important. And I think it's going to, if you've got some kind of worries going on, because I'm picking up on this like undercurrent of stress, and it could just be the uncertainty of doing this thing, but I feel like there's almost more to it for most of you. And if that's true, I feel like doing this thing is going to alleviate a lot of that stress. Partially because it will bring you more support, but I just think it's going to make you feel more confident in yourself that if there's something else you need to do for yourself outside of this situation, you will feel more empowered to do it. I think it's interesting too, here we have this Two of Cups. And what I'm getting with this is, first, it's you finding your people. Like, it's you, if you do this thing, you put yourself out there in this really authentic way, because that's the other thing I'm getting with this, is there's a real authenticity to you with regard to this creation, to this project. And I feel like if you are willing to put yourself out there in this authentic way and take this leap of faith, you are truly going to find your people. You're going to find your community. You're going to find people who really want what you are creating. And it's going to, again, it's elevating your confidence. It's like you finding your community. And it's beautiful, and I love that for you. Now, the other interesting thing about this is, of course, I would be remiss not to mention, like, this is typically considered like a soulmate card. And because we've talked so much about this energy and you doing this thing, like having a ripple effect in your life in general, I do think it's possible that this will either call in a soulmate connection for you if you are not currently in one, or deeply enhance a connection if you are already in it. Like, there is just a real leveling up to me in all levels of your life if you allow yourself to lean into this creative impulse. And I do think that's going to, like, it's making you more magnetic is kind of what I'm getting. Like, it's this Two of Cups energy. Yes, it's a soulmate, but it is specifically you calling in this soulmate. It's you putting your authentic self out there. And once you get into this energy of authenticity, it follows you. It follows you everywhere. And that's leading us to this Mother of Cups. And I feel like this is like your evolution. So it's like you do this thing, and when you get to the part where we have the stable foundation, where you do have like these changes are coming in for you, you start to reach your next level. You know, it starts to elevate you even farther. And with this Mother of Cups in reverse, it's like, to me, the Mother of Cups, it's the Queen of Cups in a more traditional deck. And it really speaks to coming into your intuition and your creative power and your emotional power, like really like having regulated emotions, but knowing when to trust them, knowing that you have every reason to be upset if you're upset, and knowing that if someone makes you uncomfortable, it's not in your head, that's your emotions telling you that something is off about this person. So it's putting you in a much more empowered state. And it's like, as you gain this confidence through making this thing and putting it out into the world, you are going to unlock a new level of yourself. And it's going to put you in this Mother of Cups, Queen of Cups energy. Now, the fact that this is reversed is because, to me, it's like this is an emerging energy. This is a byproduct of you doing this work. And it's also interesting to me too, like we've got these kind of like a balance between like black and white backgrounds, but the backgrounds over here get darker. But to me, it's like the objects then become much more noticeable. And I feel like that's almost you, like that is your light is amplifying as you go on this creative journey, which again is just so like kind of beautiful and magical. And I really love that for you. I really love the energy of this group. So let's go ahead and add some oracle cards on. What other information do we have for pile number one? What other messages do we have for them before they go to sleep tonight? Ooh, this one wants to come. All right. Deep replenishment. Retreat, rest, be held. Okay, yes. So I feel like that's kind of what this process does to you. It is a sense of replenishment. Like there's all kinds of rest. Sometimes rest is literally doing nothing because we've overproduced or we've just been in a more like busy and creative cycle. And there will come times in this process that you will need to step back and rest. But what I'm getting here is you doing this thing is going to be so electrifying to you that it's actually going to give you energy. Like this is going to be the rest that you need. This is going to give you this deep replenishment. And it goes back to like the idea of you doing this in silence. That's the retreat. That's you stepping back from the world to just make this thing for yourself and for the people that you want to connect with. And I love the energy of this group so much. I just love what's coming for you. I love what's possible for you. Let's see what else we've got for group number 1 before they go to sleep tonight. What other messages do we have? All right, that's a lot that came out, so I will take the top card. That's my deal with the universe when too many cards come up. So we've got for you courage, which just makes, again, so much sense for what we were seeing here. This is going to take courage from you. You are going to be scared and uncomfortable. So I think that also goes back into these emotions that we were talking about. Yes, sometimes fear is like what I'm getting is with this is like you have to be courageous enough to overcome your fears. Because yes, fears can tell us when things are not for us, when things are not safe. But if you are having this creative pull, if you are having this creative impulse towards something, you know it's meant for you. So when you have that push and pull of, I want to do this, but I'm afraid, that's when we need to call on our courage. If we are being called towards something specific and it's fear that's stopping us, that's when we need to call on our courage and do it anyway. And definitely hold yourself through it. Do some grounding exercises. Like you should not be in an activated state the whole time. Take care of yourself during this process, but be courageous enough to take the steps and move all of this forward. There's just so much magic for you that's waiting if you decide to go in this direction. And one last message for pile number 1, last message for them before they go to sleep tonight. Here's what we've got for you. Here's your feather, and it is a flicker. New rhythms are coming into your life now. You are encouraged to trust and adapt. I mean, I just feel like this just anchors everything we've been talking about so beautifully. This is something new. This is going to create a new rhythm in your life. And again, you are just being really encouraged to trust that. Like this is just so vital that you lean into this energy and that you allow yourself to adapt to this new thing. You find time for it. You let go of things that you don't really want to be doing that are stopping you from making time for this. And just really, again, moving in silence and creating the space for yourself. And the life that it's going to call in for you is just so beautiful and magical. And do I love this for you so much. Like, again, this is just such a beautiful energy and it's magical. So on that note, I'm going to leave this reading here. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. If this reading resonated, I would love to know how in the comments. Please like and subscribe. I'd love to have you in a future reading. I also do have personal readings if you would like a more personalized experience. Right now we have the year ahead reading for 2026. That is like the featured reading if you would like that. But there's also tons of different options if you would just like a more personal experience of what you got to dive into today. So thank you so much for being here. I hope you're having a wonderful day or night wherever you are in the world, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye. Hey group 2, welcome to your reading. Let's see what messages you need to hear before you go to sleep tonight. Let's see, is it 2 that flipped over? It is. See, I'm not sure which way these want to go. Okay, we'll go take them like that. Let's see. What else do we have? Oh, geez, that's too many. We'll take the top one that came out for each of these piles. That came out in the reverse. So we'll take that in the reverse, and we will take this one like that. Okay. Let's see what we've got for you. Okay, we have the 10 of Wands reversed, the 5 of Swords reversed, This was also reversed. The Hierophant reversed. And the Spirit of Wands, which is the Page of Wands, upright. Okay. So first up, with these reversals, what I'm getting for you is there is a real need for you to go inward. And I'm hearing tune out the noise. Like if there's something going on in your life, or you've got a big decision to make, or just like you feel really conflicted about your next step, like whatever it may be, like I'm getting a sense of confusion and just a real need to tune out the noise. And that's what this going inward to me is really about. It's about you kind of creating space away from other people giving you opinions of what you should do, the news, and like getting overwhelmed by any situations that might be happening that would affect you. It doesn't mean like, obviously, if it is directly affecting you and immediate action needs to be taken, by all means do that. But there's only so much you can do. So it's about you coming back to yourself and getting clear on what's within your control, what's aligned with you, and what really feels right and true and good for you in this exact moment. And a need to just kind of narrow the lens to yourself. Again, this does not mean being negligent, but it does mean getting clear on what's important and what's within your control. And there's also, I'm getting like this big need to do things differently. Like there's a need to break out of a box. And that's kind of a weird phrase, that way that came out, but I'm just getting this need for you to break out of a box. So if you are feeling really conflicted about like staying where you are and staying in a more traditional situation with whatever it may be, for some of you I'm getting career, for some of you I might be getting a relationship, but there is something like traditional that needs to be shed right now and needs to be released. And I feel like there's just this big unlocking that's possible for you right now. But it's about letting go of what other people's expectations are, what society's expectations are, and just what traditional expectations are. There's a real call for freedom. And if you are truly feeling that call, you are being encouraged to lean into it. I'm getting that your choices might be very unconventional. People may not understand them, and you may have to navigate that. But you are really being called to trust yourself right now, to trust that you know what's best for you. And this doesn't mean that there won't be struggle. There might be a little bit like this. I'm getting just that this is a big shift for you. So there might be a little bit of uncertainty and discomfort. But I'm getting that if you are feeling called to do this, that it's important that you do. Yeah, that was a big one. So let's get into this a little bit more card by card. So with this Nine of Wands reversed, like this is part of what's giving me this idea of struggle. Like I feel like you might be in struggle right now, and I don't think like this is your path to getting out of it. I don't think like there's still some things that have to happen. Like I don't think this is necessarily like you're going to flip a switch and the struggle will be over. There is some growth required here, but it's going to help raise you up out of this hole, like step by step. It's like somebody has put a ladder down and you can start climbing up. So things I do think are going to start getting better for you if you're in a situation where you are requiring that. But there are some steps, there are some things that you need to do to bring this liberation about for yourself. And with the Nine of Wands, like I feel like that's what this is kind of calling on you. It's like, I'm almost getting this energy of perhaps you've been in struggle for a while and you've done all of the external things you can think of to fix the problem and it's just not working. This is the call to go inward. It's that idea that like getting out of the situation requires you to go inward. And there is a little bit more of a push that needs to happen, but it needs to come from some deeply aligned place. Like the actions you need to take need to be deeply aligned with yourself, not what other people think you should do, not what society thinks you should do, not what the roadmap you were given is telling you to do. There is a need to change things for you. And I'm almost feeling like the more you accept that, the easier your life will get. Again, not all at once, because there are some real shifts that have to happen here, especially internally. But if you can trust this process, you are going to find yourself leveling up. And you're going to find yourself in the end in a really expansive place. And we'll talk about that more when we get to the Spirit of Wands. Because I love the energy of that for you. Like, that to me is where you're headed, is the Spirit of Wands over here. Now here, with this Five of Swords reversed, like, man, this card really speaks to me to me it's an energy of like, yes, you can have whatever you want when it's upright anyway. It's like, yes, you can have whatever you want, but at what cost? So it's like, yes, you can, have that 6-figure job, but who are you going to have to step over to get it? Now, in this case, in this reversal, it's like asking you it's asking you to make sure that you are not the cost of the life people think you are supposed to have. So it's like making sure that you are not putting yourself on the line, putting yourself in a situation where you will be miserable in the long term. Because like, yes, maybe you are in a situation where you can have a very nice, comfortable job, but if it's not aligned with you, it doesn't matter how much money you make. Obviously, we all need to make a certain amount to survive, but this is more about you getting clear on who you are and what you want. And if you stay in a situation, and I've been using career, but it could be a relationship, it could be a living situation, whatever it is for you, you will know. But this is more about you freeing yourself from the situation, more about you really understanding that you and your life are not an acceptable cost for societal or familial expectations. It is not acceptable for you to dim yourself and shrink yourself and burn yourself out, building a life that other people will be proud of. Building a life that other people would be happy with if you are not happy with it. So this is really calling on you to get clear on what is suffocating you. Where are you doing things that are costing you a piece of your soul? And allowing yourself to be free of that. And again, I don't think this is going to be an overnight thing. Like, you need to know this before you go to sleep, because I think it's important for this process to begin. And I'm almost imagining for most of you hearing this, that like this is a relief. Like, it's a relief that you don't have to keep forcing something, and you are going to have to regroup and recalibrate now that you have this message. But I'm kind of like, as much as there's a heaviness to this because it's a big change, I feel like there's this undercurrent of lightness. Like, ideally, if this message is truly for you and truly resonating, this should help you sleep better tonight. Because it should help you know that like you're not crazy. These feelings that you're having, this desire to be different, to do something different, you're not crazy, and it's okay. You're meant for something different. And that is what the Hierophant reversed is here to tell us. When this card is upright, it speaks to a level of tradition, also spirituality and knowledge, but also it's this idea of like having a leader, having a societal figure that you look to for leadership. This card coming up in the reverse, for me, it's big, like liberation energy. It's you following your own path, you recognizing you don't need to look to anybody else for leadership, for guidance, that you are your own guide. And there's a need for you to break free of tradition, to do things in a more unique way. This is the breakout of the box energy. And because it's the Hierophant, it's a major arcana card, this is big energy. Like, to me, this is really the card that's like anchoring this reading. This is the card that is the big undercurrent of everything, is this liberation, this freedom energy. And it is you just breaking free. And it's like, I'm noticing we've got these like lines, which I believe it's this character's aura, but it's almost, in this case, like, it's almost like, and like, look at the way the ground is breaking. It is you breaking free from this confinement that's been put around you, from this like box that's been put around you. That's what I'm getting from this. And you're allowed to do that. You're allowed to find your own path. You're allowed to be different, to be unique, to offer something different and unique. In fact, it's encouraged. We need you to do this. We need you to be your unique and amazing magical self. And then over here with the Spirit of Wands, like, this is why we need you to be your unique and magical self, because there is something magical that wants to emerge for you. Like, I love the imagery of this card. I mean, we have this figure who is glowing, walking on this beautiful like desert setting, but there's this like glowing sand happening here. And we've got these crystals that are like stacking on top of each other somehow, like they're kind of levitating. Like this, there's a real magical energy here. And because it's the Spirit of Wands, it is a new energy that wants to come in for you. It's a new path. It's a new passionate path. It's a new spiritual path. And I was kind of getting this. This doesn't have to be true for all of you, but I feel like a lot of you are more into spirituality, are more into a spiritual path. And part of your calling is to bring something more spiritual to the table. It could be Reiki, it could be tarot, it could be some kind of energy healing or energy work. It could be anything that is connecting to you. But I do feel like it's like bringing forward this new way of being, this new understanding. And again, like this just feels really expansive. Like the energy I get from this card, it's like you coming home to yourself. And if you are willing to do this work, to dig in, to shed the parts of your life that are not serving you now, that are making you feel suffocated, like this is what awaits you. You know, and this like has big, like the dawn is breaking energy, like the sun is rising. I do feel like your sun can rise and shine bright. And you don't have to do it like everybody is telling you to do. You don't have to do it like people before you have done it. You are allowed to be unique. You are allowed to forge your own path. Let's add some oracle cards in here for you. What additional messages do we have? All right, we've got 2 of this deck that came out. We'll take them. What have we been saying? Awakening, energetic upgrades, and new way of being integration. Yeah. This is truly what you are being called into right now. You are being called to wake up from the life that isn't serving you. And I think you're already on this journey. Like, I think that's why things have been so uncomfortable for you. It's just that it's been hard for you to let go completely. And this card is really calling on you to lean into this energy more. It's extra validation that you are moving in the right direction, in the right path, and that this is meant for you. You're literally being called to allow your awakening to happen. And birthing a new age, birthing new creations, dreaming new worlds into being. Yes. Again, I feel like for most of you, like this could be like this, like if we're going to dive into like the new age idea of you coming into spirituality in a new way and bringing more information forward, like we were talking about. But also I feel like it is you are bringing a new world for yourself, a new reality in for yourself. But it all starts with honoring who you are. Let's see what else we've got for you. For group number 2 before they go to sleep. Ooh, I love this for you. Watch for signs. So we have a lot of butterflies here, which of course are symbols of transformation. You might see butterflies, but it doesn't have to be a butterfly. You're being encouraged to watch for signs that you are on the right path. And one of my favorite ways to do this is to put out to the universe what you want your sign to be. And perhaps you already have a sign. It could be a number. Like I have a number. Some people have animals, some people it is butterflies, but I love the idea of you like going through this process where, again, I feel like you are in a situation where you are likely going to get a lot of pushback from people because you've already been pushed in a direction that isn't aligned with you. So I feel like as you go through this transformation and shedding, and I'm also getting to like, you might have to shed some people in this process, but all of this awakening is going to lead you to people who will actually support you. So going back to this card though, it's like you are really being called to, as during this process, as you are shedding, there might be moments of uncertainty. If you put out into the universe, like, this is the sign I want to see that I'm on the right path. This is the sign I want to see when I'm uncertain and questioning. I guarantee you, you will start to see it when you need it. So if you are doubting, ask for a sign. Ask for validation that you are going in the right direction, that you are going in the right path. It's happened for me multiple times, and it's helped me finally do things I was uncertain about because I could not deny the fact that my number kept showing up all over. Like, I will give you an example. Just a year ago, I was buying a car. I was hesitant about if I really wanted to do it then, but my number was all over this car. It was in the final price. It was in a serial number on a tire. Like, the number of ways, the number of times my number came up through this car buying process, I was like, I need it. And I'm so happy I did. I love the vehicle. Like it was, and my car was so old previously, it probably would not have been safe to continue driving it. It's like, it was a necessary purchase, but I was really hesitant about it. And the signs really helped me through that process. So like, that's the kind of thing that I'm getting for you is if you are having moments of uncertainty, ask for your sign. And if it does not show up, then step back and regroup. But if you are truly trusting yourself and moving forward, you're going to see your sign. Let's get you one more message. What else do we have for group number 2? What last message do they need to hear before they go to sleep tonight? Ooh. We've got Blue Jay. Here's the feather if you'd like to see that. The time is right to access and master your abilities. Do so with humility and control. Yeah, like I was saying, I do feel like you have some kind of spiritual calling and spiritual ability that you are really being called to right now. And this is, again, just more confirmation, more validation. Now is the time. Now is the time for you to take this leap, for you to lean into this calling, and for you to shed anything that's not serving you and not fully supporting you, and anything that you are feeling like is suffocating you. Because that's kind of the energy also I'm getting of these, like, the changes that need to be made. It's the changes that make you feel suffocated are the most necessary to shed right now. And it's all leading you to this beautiful expansion, this beautiful magical expansion, and a life that's fully aligned with you. And I do hope that helps you sleep better tonight. And on that note, I'm going to leave this reading here. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. If this reading resonated, I would love to know how in the comments. Please like and subscribe. I'd love to see you in a future video. I also do offer personal readings if you enjoyed this experience and would like a more personalized experience. Right now we have the year ahead reading featured, so I can break down the next year for you, but there's also other options if you would like something else. All of that information is in the description box below. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you're having a wonderful day or night wherever you are in the world, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye. Hey group 3, welcome to your reading. Let's see what you need to know before you go to sleep tonight. What does group 3 need to know before they go to sleep tonight? Did I call you group 2? If I did, I apologize. But I had the energy of group 3. All right, so we've got your cards here. So let's see what we've got for you. First up, we have the Ace of Pentacles, followed by the 8 of Blades, followed by the 3 of Cups, and the 7 of Blades. Very interesting. Okay. So first of all, it's interesting to me, all of your cards are in the upright. So if you are on the fence about taking action on something, I'm getting now is definitely the time. Like, now is the time for you to take action. Now is the time for you to be in the world and really cultivating the physical reality and physical experience you want to have. Like, I feel like you probably have already done the inner work necessary to get to this place. And of course, inner work is an ongoing process. So there's always going to be more stuff that comes up that we have to go back into. But now is the time for action. Specifically, if there is a new career or business, endeavor, idea, direction that's calling to you, this is definitely the time. And I do think there are some fears that need to be released. We will get into that more specifically. But if you are having any doubts about moving forward with something, these cards are very favorable for that movement. They're very favorable for that action. So let's get into the specifics a little bit more. So first up over here with this Ace of Pentacles. It's interesting. I'm really being drawn to the moon that we have on this card. And I do feel like there is probably a new direction, again, in your career or finances. But I'm really feeling career, either whether it be that your current career, like you're feeling called to move in a different direction, or if it's starting a new business, if it's branching out on your own, whatever it may be, there is a new calling for you in your professional life. And I feel like it's something that your intuition is guiding you to, but it doesn't fully make sense. Like it either feels like a big leap or perhaps it is a big change. Like you would be leaving a lot of your previous work and credentials behind. Like I'm almost imagining somebody who like did a lot of work in like engineering and wants to now go be a creative writer. Like that's a big leap. And of course, if you're writing, you can always use the knowledge that you had prior, but it's really starting over in a new industry. And that's kind of the energy that I'm getting for you is like, this is starting over in a way that you feel like you're giving up what you used to have and what you worked so hard for. But I want you to know that's not the case. Like this is just the next step in your evolution. That's what this intuitive guide is telling me, like this moon, this intuition piece is telling me is that your intuition is guiding you in this direction because it's just the next phase of your evolution. And you had to go through the experience you had prior. You had to gain that experience. And you will still use it. You may not know how, but I guarantee you, if you enjoyed what you did to any degree, there will be something, or even if you didn't, there will be something from that experience that you will be able to do in this next phase of your life because you've had that previous experience. Like it will all come together. It will all come full circle to you. But the biggest thing you need to know is that nothing was ever wasted. And you're being called in this direction for a reason. This new start, this new beginning, it has a lot of potential. Whenever we have the Ace of Pentacles, like it is a gentle nudge to go for it, to try it, to see what happens. And because it's an ace, it is the beginning of the journey. So there might be some twists and turns. You may not end up exactly where you imagine yourself now. You could, but you might not. And that's okay. That's not a failure if you end up someplace different. That seems really important for me to tell you. Like there's a need for you to be open to the experience. Like as much as you want to be working towards a goal, it's important for you to know to be open to the experience of bringing this goal into your reality. Because that just feels really, really crucial to your evolution. Like it's not just about you making this leap, it's who you become in the process. I feel like that's true for anything, but it's especially true with this experience, that it's not about the goal, it's about the evolution that takes place for you. And I think this Eight of Blades is actually a really good example of that. There are ways, what this card is telling me is there are ways that you have kept yourself trapped in your life. It could be specifically within your career, but it doesn't have to be. But it's the idea that you taking this leap, it's like you are beginning to prioritize yourself. You're beginning to prioritize what you want and who you want to be. And when you do that, you start to unlock a lot of areas of your life. You start to come into more alignment. You start to welcome more things and you start to welcome more change in yourself personally. Like it's you kind of deciding to set yourself free. And the thing about this card is like, with these swords, like, yes, they're surrounding this character, but they're also like, these blades are just kind of floating there. She's not really stuck. She's not really that stuck. She can take the blindfold off. Like her arms, she's not tied that tightly. She's tied pretty high. It's above her elbows. She could definitely get her hands to this blindfold if she wanted to. And I think that's you to a degree. It's like you can make these changes if you want to. It's about calling in the right people to support you, and we'll get to that in a minute, and you just deciding to do it. Don't overthink it. Think about it enough, like know what your next steps are, but don't overthink it. Don't talk yourself out of it. This goes back to this intuition piece. If it feels right for you, you are being called to be brave enough to trust your intuition and move forward with that. And to set yourself free. It's possible for some of you, this thing has been calling you for a while and you've been resistant. And this card is really calling on you again to set yourself free, to stop keeping yourself trapped. Now with this Three of Cups, this to me is about finding the people who will celebrate you, who will support you on this journey. I think you have more people in your life than you realize that would support you on this. But even if you don't, it's like going on this journey calls these people in. So if you think you're alone in this endeavor, you might be right now, but you aren't for the long term. There are people who want to support you in this and who want to who want to celebrate you and celebrate your success and want to support your success. And it's interesting. I've never noticed this on this card before. We have this apple here. I think it's an apple. And apples are all about knowledge. So it's like, I'm almost getting this message like you have the knowledge to make this happen. And with the clouds, like when we have clouds in tarot in this way, where it's like we have the pentacle that's like coming out of the clouds, we have this arm coming out of the clouds, it tends to speak to things that can come out of nowhere for us. So like I'm getting this energy of the exact support you need for this endeavor, for this change, like seemingly coming out of nowhere. It's like you put out into the universe what you want, and all of a sudden, like let's just say like let's just go with this idea that you are starting a new business. Okay, hypothetical example, might not be true for you, but this is the energy that we're talking about. If you decide you want to start a new business and you don't know anything and you definitely need some help with what you want to do and what you want to grow, you know you need somebody to handle social media, let's say. But you don't know where to find somebody good. You don't know what social media you should even be on for what you want to do. And you just kind of put it out there into the universe that this is what you need. And maybe you find yourself in a situation where like you're in a coffee shop and you just mention it to somebody and they're like, oh, hey, I do that. Can you tell me more about what you're building? And this person turns out to be exactly who you need. But like it's that kind of energy where you are just kind of putting out into the universe what you need and the support you need, and the support and the people you need find you. So it's don't be afraid to share what you're doing with people. You don't have to broadcast it far and wide while you're building it, but if it comes up in conversation naturally, that's the universe creating a window for you. And of course, always trust your intuition and be discerning. Not everyone or everything is going to be right for you, but if you are feeling a connection, if you are feeling a resonance with somebody or a product or a service, whatever it may be, you're really being encouraged to trust that impulse, to trust that feeling, and to lean in a little bit more deeply. Now, with this Seven of Blades, there are two messages with this. First ties into what we were just talking about, that need to be discerning. Not everything is going to be for you. As much as we want to be open to what is for us and put out there, not everything that drops in your path will make the most sense for you. Like, I feel like it's almost like, as you start to put out there what you want, you get more magnetic. So you are going to start to attract things to you. You will attract what you need. And I think those things will be the most obvious and easy, but you're also going to attract things that are not the best fit. It's like people or situations that are attracted to your shiny energy. Perhaps you are naturally high vibe. Perhaps this is elevating your vibration. This experience is elevating your vibration. But the point is, like, to me, this sword is almost representing you and your idea. And you need to be willing to protect it. So yes, take the help, but be discerning. Recognize what's for you and what's not. That comes back to this intuition piece. Your intuition will guide you. Now, the second part of this is a call to be a little bit strategic in how you go about this transition. So whenever this card comes up, especially with regard to something career-based, like this to me is the energy, like it's not telling you to like quit your job tomorrow and immediately start building something new unless you have the means to do that and you feel called to do that. But this is about doing things strategically. So it's kind of like building something for the long term. So get a plan together, take the first step, and just prioritize on building something real, not building something quick. But the other message I'm getting with this too is like, don't plan too far ahead because you need to leave a little room for magic. Take it like maybe 3 steps at a time. Know what the next 3 steps you have to do are and implement them. And then come back and look at where you're at, create the next phase. And move in that way. So moving intentionally, moving strategically, but also leaving room for magic. All right, let's get some oracle cards for you. Let's see what else comes up. What else do we have for group number 3? Ooh. All right, I'm going to take the card that came out here. A lot came out, but we're going to take the one that came out upright. And we have birthing a new age, birthing new creations, dreaming a new world into being. Yes. This is such the energy of this group. You are bringing something new into reality. You are really being called to create something new for yourself. The deeper we get into this, the more I do think most of you probably are being called to kind of go off on your own, start a new business. But even if you are moving in a new direction with your career and it's not completely going on your own, the work you are going to do has the potential to really bring something new into the world. This is like a big contribution. I feel like this is a big contribution to the collective that you are being called to make. And this dreaming a new world into being, as much, I feel like it is partly dreaming a new world for the collective into being, but it's also dreaming a new world for yourself. Like, this is you getting clear on what's possible for you and really tap into that expansive energy of what you can create for yourself as much as what you can create for others. Like, what would your life look like? What does this new life feel like to you? Like, spend time in that energetic place, and it's going to help you move into that new world even more easily. All right, let's see what else we've got here for, oops, is that 2? It is 2. We'll take it. Group number 3. Face your fears. Yeah. I'm going to put this in the center. This is very much, to me, what this 8 of Swords is speaking about, is facing your fears. That there are things that have kept you trapped, kept you from moving forward. Again, I feel like for a lot of you, this idea may have been speaking to you, or this path may have been speaking to you for a little bit now, but there's something that's kept you from moving forward, and there's something that's kept you stuck, but it is not, it's ultimately yourself. Like, you have the potential to find a workaround the situation, but I think it's your fear that's keeping you from doing so. So you are really being called to face your fears and move this forward. Ooh, clear your energy. Yeah, I love this. I love the snakes. Like, we've got some shedding that has to happen. What is blocking you energetically from moving forward with this, from being this magnetic energy? Like, you've got to really shed any doubts and fears. And of course, this doesn't mean you can never have doubts and fears. They're going to creep in from time to time, but it's about not living in that energy. And again, also getting clear about what you want and what you're building. Because if you can shift into that frequency more often, it's going to keep you moving forward. And the clearer your energy is, the better off you are going to be at discerning what's for you and what's not. The easier it will be for you to trust your intuition, because your energies will be very clear. Like, you won't have other people's energies, you won't have societal energies, just collective heaviness. All of that will be gone, and you will be much better at being in touch with yourself. Let's get one last message for group number 3. What's one last message group 3 needs before they go to sleep? Here is your feather. And it is a finch. New opportunities and choices are opening to you now. Claim them. Yeah, could that be any more on the nose? I mean, there are new opportunities available for you. They are here for you. These choices are yours to claim. I love that we have that claim them. They are yours to claim. You are not as trapped as you think you are. And that message keeps coming up. So I feel like that might be the most important thing you need to know before you go to sleep, that like, you are not trapped in your current reality. Even if there's a change that needs to be made, it's not as big of a weight as you might think it is. Once you get into that, this change is so aligned, it's going to be easier to make this transition than I think you realize. I think that's really important for you to know going forward. But there's so much available to you. There's so much expansion, so many opportunities, so many choices. And I'm so excited for you. I love the energy of this group. I love the power in this group. And I'm curious to see what you decide to do with it. But on that note, I'm going to leave this reading here. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. If this reading resonated, I would love to know how in the comments. I would also really appreciate a like and subscribe. I'd love to see you in future videos. And if you would like a more personalized experience, I do have personal readings available. The link is in the description. And right now we are featuring the New Year's year ahead readings. So I can look at the energies around each month of the year, each quarter of the year, depending on what option you choose. There's also other reading options if you would just like a reading on something else. Again, all of that is in the description box, but I am so grateful to have you here. I hope you're having a wonderful day or night wherever you are in the world, and hope to see you in the next one. Bye.